So prospecting is everything. Prospecting is the bloodline of your business, right? So today I want to talk about power prospecting. How do we prospect in a powerful way that will give us results? So one of the exercises that I teach in order to be able to be more effective, one of the exercises that I teach is prospecting is looking for people and talking to people. So the first thing that we have to do when we're in real estate is we have to understand that the business that we're looking for, the transactions, the deals, the buyers, the sellers, those people. So you want to write this down. What are we looking for? So that's the first thing. What are we looking for? Write this down. Number one, you're looking for buyers. You're looking for sellers. You're looking for renters. And you're looking for investors. So this is what Money Making Activity Mondays is about. It's about a masterclass where we really focus on, okay, how are we going to get to making money faster? Okay. So the first thing you need to understand is, okay, who am I looking for? If we're going to talk about prospecting, you have to have a clear identity, a clear vision. Who am I looking for? I'm looking for buyers, right? All of you are looking for buyers. You're looking for sellers, right? All of you are looking for sellers. Now, why are you looking for renters? Let me tell you why you're looking for renters. And I want you to write this down next to renters. Because renters today are buyers tomorrow. Renters today are buyers tomorrow. A lot of times we ignore renters because we think, oh, they can't buy. That is not true. Renters today are buyers tomorrow. So I'm transmitting this for those of you that are watching. This is a beta test. We're not going to be transmitting our money making activity masterclass, but we are going to be having the replays. But it's not the same to be in the room than to watch it by yourself later. So I am introducing the power of proximity. What is proximity? Being close to somebody that's going to transmit an energy. Estar cerca a alguien que te va a transmitir una energía. You don't get that on a replay. You don't get that on Zoom. So that's why I'm launching the masterclass for Money Making Activity Mondays. It's really a masterclass. Think of it this way. You could go from point A to point B. Puedes ir del punto A al punto B on a bicycle. Puedes ir en bicicleta, right? From point A to point B, you could go on a bicycle, you could go walking, or you could go on a highway. Puedes ir en una autopista. Which one do you prefer? The highway. This is a highway. What I teach works if you work it. So for those of you that are watching, this is not, we've got a lot of people watching. Thank you for watching. This is not going to be transmitted, but we are testing it. Why am I testing it? Because there's a lot of people like you out there that also need to know who can help me. So think about this. Piensa en esto. My job is to transmit a message, right? Coach Lucy Q can help people be successful in what? Real estate. Your job here is to transmit a message. What is your message? I help buyers. I help sellers. I help renters. Why renters? Because renters are future buyers. You should be the number one agent for renters because renters are future buyers. Los que alquilan son compradores futuros. Everyone that is renting is not renting because they don't want to buy. Everyone that is renting because they think they cannot buy. You need to be the messenger with the right message. So, for example, there's different programs that you should know about to help renters become homeowners. So, buyers, sellers, renters, and what's the last thing? Investors. You want to be the person that investors think about. In my organization, I have a property management company, and I teach my agents like you, hey, when you talk to people, let them know you can help them with property management. Why? Because investors need property management. Investors buy homes, but they need someone else to take care of the home. So right now, if you're going to power prospect, if you're going to prospect like a champion, if you're going to prospect like somebody that's going to win every time, the first thing you must know is the four types of people that you are here to help. And you're here to help these four types of people: buyers, sellers, renters, and investors. Buyers, sellers, renters, and investors. Think about this. How many buyers are out there that you could be sending information to? A lot. Sellers is going to be a little bit more challenging. Sellers, you have to be able to know how to position yourself. And the problem with becoming a listing agent is not that you can't do it. You have to have your marketing and your value proposition. Tienes que tener una oferta de valor muy fuerte. For you to work with a seller, you have to outperform. Tienes que sobrepasar a tu competencia. So when I'm talking to you about power prospecting, who is your competition? Write that down. Who is your competition? Who is your competition? You need to know who your competition is. See, power prospecting is tactical work. El power prospecting es trabajo táctico. It's not theory. It's not, okay, I'm going to teach you how to fill out a contract. I don't do that. I no longer teach people how to write a contract. I could. Yo no le enseño a la gente a llenar un contrato. Why? Because that doesn't make you money. Writing a contract does not make you money. Coach Lucy Q focuses on teaching people how to make money. Mi enfoque es enseñar a la gente cómo hacer dinero, no llenar un contrato. Now, there's other trainings that I provide for you to learn how to fill a contract. Okay? Hay otro entrenamiento que yo te doy para que aprendas a llenar el contrato. But my focus is teaching you how to make money. Think about this. Piensan en esto. If you write 4 contracts a year, which is what most agents sell, la mayoría de los agentes venden 4 propiedades al año. Do you think you're going to master writing contracts if you only write contracts 4 times a year? ¿Tú vas a ser una maestra de contratos escribiendo 4 contratos al año? No. No. Every time you write a contract, you're going to be, oh my God, what paper do I have to fill out? Oh my God. What addendum do I have to fill out? Oh my God. What is it that I'm supposed to send? What is it that I'm supposed to do? But if I teach you how to make money and you write 40 contracts a year, are you going to be a master at writing contracts? Of course. So I rather focus my energy, my experience, my talent, my trajectory to finding people like you guys that say, Lucy, teach me how to make money. I'll figure out how to. Guys, writing a contract is filling in the blank. Escribir un contrato es llenar los espacios vacíos. And it tells you name, and it tells you date, and it tells you closing date, right? So that is the easy part. I don't want you to get confused. That is the easy part. La parte fácil es llenar el blanco. The hard part is finding business. That's why I'm glad you guys are here, because this is the hard part. Esta es la parte difícil. This is the part of like lifting weights. Como yo esta mañana, me this morning, like, oh my goodness, 15 more reps, 15 repeticiones más. So, power prospecting, number one, write this down. I must know who I serve. Tengo que saber a quién yo sirvo. I must know who I'm looking for. I must know who I'm looking for. Tengo que saber a quién estoy buscando. Number two, I must know which one I'm going to focus on. Tienes que saber en cuál te vas a enfocar. So for you guys, if you're closing less than 5 transactions, let's just say if you're closing less than 10 transactions a year, si tú estás cerrando menos de 10 transacciones al año, you're closing less than 10 transactions a year, okay? Here's what I want you to understand. Less than 10 transactions a year is below average. It's good, but you're not going to be a top producer with 10 transactions a year unless you're selling $1 million homes, right? A no ser que estés vendiendo casas de millones. And even for that, you need another level of experience. So anyone that is closing less than 10 transactions a year, you need a lot of repetition. Necesitas mucha repetición. That's why give yourself the opportunity to do a lot of open houses. A lot of open houses. Last week, we were talking about how many open houses in 90 days. 110 open houses in 90 days. Why? Because you need to build your skills. Tienes que desarrollar tus habilidades. Skills are like muscles. If you have no skills, you're weak. Si no tienes habilidades, estás débil. Skills are like muscles. So you just got to think, okay, I got to do a lot of repetition. So last week, I said 100, and if you are really serious, this is what you must do. I guarantee you it will work. If you do it, it'll work. If you do 110 open houses in 90 days, last week we talked about that. It was only 30 open houses a month, or 31, something like that. It was only 3 a week, but you need the repetition. Number two, what does open houses give you? It gives you market presence. So imagine this for a moment. Choose 3 listings. Choose 2 listings. Choose 1 listing. It doesn't matter. And you focus on that one property. And you do 3 open houses at that one property. Here's what's happening that nobody knows. Aquí es lo que está pasando que nadie sabe. Number one, that property has neighbors, right? Most properties now have neighbors. La mayoría de las propiedades tienen. Okay. Imagine for a moment, this is the part that people don't know what they don't know. La gente no sabe lo que no sabe. But Coach Lucy Q I have sold over 5,000 properties in my career. Yo he vendido más de 5,000. Do you think I know what I'm doing after 5,000?
Oh, yeah.
I think I know a little bit, right? Un poquito. Después de 5,000 ventas, un poquito, right? I think I have a clue. Creo que tengo una idea. Let me tell you a story. One of my agents in 2018, una de mis agentes en el 2018, she worked in a medical office. And I told everybody, if you have a job, I cannot hire you because you cannot have 2 masters. You cannot serve a job and your business. It doesn't work. But I said, unless you let me give you a plan to transition, okay? So I sat down with her. And I made a plan, a 90-day transition plan. I told her, here's what you're going to do. Listen to this story. This was 2018, en el 2018. We made a plan. I said, okay, you're going to pick 2 houses. You're going to do consistent open houses. She was a good student. She was very coachable. She started doing 2 houses every week. She would do 4 open houses in one house, and she would do 4 open houses in the other house. Every week, she would go from this house, she would pack her things up, she would go to the other house, she would do the open. It's only 2 hours each, right?
Yeah.
After 2 weeks consistently doing her 4 open houses, the neighbor, el vecino, had been watching her. The neighbor came to the open house and said, "We have been watching you do open houses here so consistently. We're impressed. Could you come see our house because we want to sell it?" That is the problem with rookie agents today. When I say rookie agents, it's agents that have not closed more than 10 transactions. They don't know what they don't know. We have all been rookies. Todos somos principiantes. I was a rookie. So that's why this mentorship, master classes like this are so valuable, because they give you the insight. Te dan la información que no tienes, that you don't know. The neighbor came and listed. When the for sale sign went on the neighbor's house, from that open house, cuando pusieron el aviso de venta ahí with her picture and the company name and her phone number, the neighbor across the street asked the neighbor, "Hey, would you recommend me your agent?" And the neighbor across the street, el vecino de al frente, listed with her also. Not only that, not only that, but because she was there so consistently, she ended up talking to so many buyers. Those buyers that walked in did not buy that house. No buyer goes to an open house to buy that house. But your job as a real estate professional is to know your market and take that buyer that walked into that open house and move them to another house. She sold 2 other houses to buyers that showed up. Vendió 2 casas a los compradores que habían venido. So tell me what she accomplished in less than 60 days. She sold 2 houses from the open house. She got 2 listings from the open house. If you do the numbers, I want you to write down these numbers. Write down these numbers, okay? The average home right now is how much? $400,000. So I want you to write down $400,000, okay? The commission that you should be charging is at least 3%. Don't be like like don't be like an agent that gives away their money. Don't give away your money. No regales tu dinero. You got to know how to charge, but you got to charge what you're worth. So when I tell you charge 3%, that's because it's going to take work. It's going to take work. You should be getting paid 3% if you know how to negotiate. ¿Sabe cómo negociar? How much is 3% of 400,000? It's $12,000. You got to know your numbers. Business people, CEOs know their numbers, right? But obviously I've practiced this more than you. $12,000 gross. Pongan ahí, bruto, gross. So in this real life story, she sold 2 properties to other buyers, right? How much did she make there gross? 12 times 2 is 24. And then she listed 2 properties. Let's say another 12,000 each. So that's another 24. What was her, write this down, gross potential income?
40. 40.
Gross, write this down, gross potential income. Ingreso bruto potencial. Gross potential income. Her gross potential income was how much? $48,000 from 4 open houses a week at 2 properties. Guys, this is so simple. We complicate it. The people we talk to complicate it. This is so simple. It's 4 open houses a week she was doing. She chose 2 houses, and that's all she focused on. So, power prospecting is number 1, knowing who you're supposed to be talking to, and number 2, understanding who you're going to focus on. So if you're somebody that has closed less than 10 properties, there's nothing better for you to do than open houses. Why? Somebody asked me why.
Why? Exposure.
Because you don't have the muscle to be making phone calls yet.
Mhm.
No tienes el músculo para estar haciendo llamadas. You don't have the discipline. No tienes la disciplina. Write that down. I don't have the muscle. I don't have the discipline. Let me move this here 1 second.
Let's share a picture, please. Okay, look.
You don't have the muscle. You don't have the discipline to be doing the heavy lifting. So heavy lifting in real estate, el peso pesado en real estate is making phone calls, haciendo llamadas. That's heavy lifting. Oh, I'm scared. I don't know what to say. Me da miedo, no sé qué decir.